Greetings and welcome back, one and all, to City Skylines and to the City of Anoon, where in the last couple of episodes we've been working on the public transport systems. And you know what I've realized? I've realized that I haven't been naming any of them. So we're going to start this episode off with a little bit of renaming. Now, our first train station. Let's think. This shall be... Well, I've already got the name, but what else are we going to call it? Now, to clarify, because I've been asked a little bit how I pick the names off the master list, it's entirely random. Basically, in this particular game, because I name so many things in each episode, typically, I will generate about 6 to 12 names off the list, and that's literally just, it's a numbered list, so I go on random.org and I just select a number between the first and the last name on the list, and I just pick those ones off and put them on the short list. But then in the episode, as I need to name things, I just go off that short list sequentially. Now, 0 is the first one that Chaoticles chose. But the 0 what? 0... The 0... The 0 People Delivery Service. Hopefully you don't actually deliver 0 people. That's just the name. The next one, the cargo terminal, shall be... And this is one of the funny things about the way I do this and why I sometimes chuckle, is because although the names have been selected already by Chaoticles, it's more or less completely random which items I choose to name, and usually I just do it on the fly without really thinking about the names that are on the list. But as it happens, our cargo terminal is going to be More Gold's cargo terminal, which I hope is a sign of the enormous amount of money it's going to enable us to make. The More Golds. More Golds Freight Disposal. I don't care what you do with it once you've gotten rid of the freight into this building. Honestly, if you just put it into an incinerator, I wouldn't really mind as long as we get paid for it at the end of the day. Now, we can also name every single metro station. Now that is going to be a bit crazy, but we'll start out with Mr. Cuddlesworth. Now, 0 was named for Michael Vincent, More Golds was named for More Golds Jason Rook, and Mr. Cuddlesworth, what an awesome name, is named for Noobs of Fredo. Mr. Cuddlesworth... No, it's too many words. And we've fed in service. Ah! Cave Adapter. There we go. Now, Cave Adaptation, as anyone who plays Dwarf Fortress will realize, has a lot to do with not being out in the sun, which, you know, obviously a metro system, you know, you're underground, moving from place to place, you get a little bit more cave adapted every time you use it. Now, next we're going to have the Zawari. This is named for Mr. Ampuja. Zawari. The Zawari Sinkhole. Located in Rick Eaglebrook Heights. Next up, we've got another metro station. Wow, a lot of passengers just came out of there. Awesome. This one shall be the Darnock. This one's named for Conrad Eklund. Darnock. Darnock Worker Transport, because pretty much the only people using this one are workers. Well done you for working. Now, next up we have... Diabito. This one is named for Michael Craven. Interesting surname you have there, Michael. And Diabito. The Diabito Rabbit Hole. And finally... Oh, wow, look at those. Those are lovely buildings. Very nice high-rises. Some of them are even getting close to the next tier up as well. These are really nice. I imagine these are massively impacting the land value. In fact, You know what? With so many so close, let's have a quick look. Yes. Especially there. That one's especially affecting the land value. Very nice indeed. But this one shall be known as the Piffy. This is named for Pig Catapult. Piffy people... The Piffy People Accelerator. And I think that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay, fantastic. We've named everything. We can now move on with the rest of the episode. How empty is this? 19% full, that is very, very good. Now, as I said, we've started off with naming some things. Now, we have an enormous desire for residential, and I'm really getting very close to setting up an expansion to Bone Dragon Henge. But several episodes ago, I mentioned, several episodes ago now actually, that we would be expanding out Rick Eaglebrick Heights. And I think it is about time we did that. So let's go snap to grid, bring this down about this far, I would say. Same down here. In fact, this one can come out one more, and then we're going to have a curve. Let's try that instead. There we go. Nice little curve there. Now, on this side, I don't particularly want them... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter too much if they do connect there, does it? The only thing I don't want to do is create another junction too early. That's the main concern. So I think I'm going to leave that as is. We're not actually going to rush down there. But what I will do is I will add a footpath. We will have one coming up through here and around. And probably another one all the way over there. Like so. And this one can also connect. Oops. Let's try and connect those like so. There we go. I think that'll be quite nice, actually. They even connected there. I actually quite like using the footpaths to break things up a little bit. Now, we are going to want a reasonable amount of homes here. So we're going to go ahead with that. And at this stage, we've got a fair desire for commercial. We're going to have some low-density commercial there, though. And we want some additional high-density there. But over here, I'm thinking low-density. Mix it up a little bit. We don't want it all to be high-density. There we go. Now, we're going to need some water over here. Quite badly, in fact. So let's run that down. Is that going to work? Have we got it covered? I think we do. Fantastic. This will have to come up there, and then it can connect. There we go. Perfect. Now, this is going to cause a little bit of traffic around here, but thankfully there's no extra junction there, so that should be okay. The next thing that we're going to want to do... whilst that, it's going to start to help us out a little bit with the population... You know what, let's go ahead and get this area as well, I think. It's about time this one expanded as well. Oops. Managed to miss that little spot there. Let's get all of that. How did I manage to miss all of those? How does that work? Craziness, I tell you. There we go. That should bring in a fair bit more residential, though we can probably expand a lot of this area out as well. Don't want to do that too aggressively just yet, though. We're going to hold off. Now, one thing that I'm becoming increasingly aware of is that the opportunities for leisure activities are few and far between for many of our residents, because as the density of population increases in certain areas, the capacity for the parks to actually meet the needs of that many people goes down quite sharply. So... let's think. You know what? There are a number of things that we can do, but there's also these. Now, I haven't placed hardly any of these. There's a Statue of Wealth. A statue is the personification of the city's wealth. Requirement for building the space elevator. We could place one of these. It would make a number of people fairly happy, I imagine. We could even place it down here where I've just demolished a bunch of houses. Yes, we could. Actually, I think having this in a massive new area for near our economic center, I guess. It's not so much what I wanted to make this into, but it's kind of what it's become. I think that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to go with that. This is our commercial district, if you like. Did I just do that? Ah, man. That's terrible. Let me move you. Want you a little bit further over. There we go. Right, we want to put those paths back down. So you're going to come across there, and then straight up there. There we are. In fact, I could connect you like that as well. You know, that actually makes this little area quite pretty. Very, very nice, in fact. Very nice indeed. Now, this will actually start bringing in some tourists as well. So, hopefully, this place will actually start getting a little bit more activity. Now, what other kinds of awesome buildings have we got? Ooh, the Transport Tower. The Transport Tower is a large office building specially meant for public transport companies. Requirement for building the space elevator. Ooh, that's quite interesting. We've got the Fountain of Life and Death. A pretty fountain reminds passers-by of how fragile life is. Requirement for building the fusion power plant. Oh wow, that's got a huge area of effect. I kind of like the idea of having that one up here, though. That one seems suitably artistic and wealth-inspiring, and also we could place it next to a... Oh, I don't know. I mean, that would make all sorts of sense, but at the same time, if I place it there, it's too good of an opportunity, honestly. We can't miss that one out. And everything's connected still. Because that just makes all kinds of uncanny sense. Oh really? Can we actually connect off this? No, we can't. That would have been glorious, but I'm not at all surprised that we're not allowed. There we go. Oh, that's a bit of a steep path, but... you know what? I don't like that path being nearly that steep, so how about we go like this instead? And we bring that up there. Is that a bit of a better path? Yeah, that's much better. But there we go. That's quite nice, I think. Let's have a look at leisure activities. Or maybe this is just affecting the value. Oh, it might be. I hadn't thought about that. I was assuming they were like parks. That is a bit of a pain. Okay, well, let's actually have a look at some leisure activities then. Could have another botanical garden, but I don't really want to go the route of having too many of the same thing. We could have an enormous park. I think that's a bit overkill, though. How about a park over here, perhaps? Yes. That'll make everyone around here a little bit happier. I mean, the shop owners, obviously not, but, wow. They can use the park as much as anyone else. Don't know what they're complaining for, honestly. Bloody shop owners. Right, one thing that we are going to need to do, though, we need to adjust the Rick Eagle Brick bus line. Now, where do you go first? You go up there, you come across... You go down around here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to drag another stop out to there. Then drag this stop. Probably around there. That's fine. So it goes up there. I guess I could have the buses. I don't know. I think I'm going to, but this could potentially be a bit of a pain. I'll have a stop there, and then we will have another stop there as well. There we go. That'll expand this bus route, but it will involve going around this roundabout, which is a bit of a pain, honestly. It would have been ideal if we could have avoided that in some way, but I just can't think of a way to do that. So there we go. That's enhanced this area with better public transport. Quite a lot of tourists today at the moment. That's actually quite nice. Are we getting many tourists right now? Jobs available. Unemployment's only 3%. Wow, that's amazing. Right, tourists per week. Ah, there we go. We're getting a lot more tourists now. Not bad. Not bad at all. Next up, let's have a look at some of these other things. The Mall of Moderation. This mall is not so posh, but has lots of small, cheap shops. Requirement for building the medical center. Okay, well that's not going to be going in Rick Eaglebrick Heights. That's going to be going somewhere else. We could have it over there, but honestly, no. I think over here would be a better place for this mall. Not sure why, but this area speaks more to me of benefiting from a cheaper mall. We could have one there. Or we could possibly have one... Let's find a nice place for it, if we can. No, absolutely not there either. Okay. Actually, it looks like that's going to be the only place we can put it. Okay, well, we'll have the Mall of Moderation. There we go. You now have a reasonable sized mall there for your use. There we go. And I think it's got a bus stop just outside as well, which is actually pretty cool. There we are. So people can get dropped off at the Mall of Moderation as well. A cheap old mall for shopping. Well, I'm hoping that that's going to, you know, help you guys out a little bit. Let's have a look. Quite a lot of these places have just upgraded their level. That is fantastic. Really happy about that. That one got smaller. Not so sure I'm happy about that, but, you know, okay. Right, how are we doing? We still got a huge demand for additional commercial. You know what? Okay, well, let's try and hide the rail with a bit of commercial there. We could even have a bit of commercial over here as well. Try and soak up some of that noise pollution. I'm not sure that it actually works that way. I think that's some city logic, not city skyline logic. Add a few more trees in that area, make it nice and well wooded. Now, what else are we going to do? We could build another park. I'm sorely tempted to, actually. Oh, wait. Aha! I just realized what I've not been doing. Haha! You thought I'd forgotten. Well, I had, technically. But I'm back now. This shall be the Nova. Named for Nova Warfare. The Nova... Let's think. The Nova War Wealth Plaza. Plaza, not Plaza. My lord. Right. What else did we have? Did we build any additional parks? I don't think so. The Mall of Moderation shall be the Tartan. Names for George's Bieberly. The Tartan. The Tartan Pound Shop. If you're not familiar with what a pound shop is, it's a shop where everything in there is only £1 to purchase. Sometimes they break that rule and so they'll have some items, but generally speaking, it'll all be fairly cheap. Now, we also built the Fountain of Life and Death over here. This shall be the Hound of Darkness. Mortal Coil. Since that, I'm assuming, is meant to be the mortal coil coming unwound. There we go. Now, did I name or add anything else? I'm fairly certain I did. There we are. One more plaza with trees. This shall be the Pico, named for Pico. The Pico. I think it's actually double R. I could be completely wrong. The Pico Squirrel Sanctuary. I'll have to check the spelling on squirrel. There we go. Fantastic. Is everything else named? I think everything else has been named. Okay. Right, I'm not going to build that mall yet. Now, we've got an opera house. We've also got an expo center. Trade shows and conferences attract visitors from near and far, required for building the space elevator. Or the stadium. Bring the excitement of a sports game into the city by building a stadium required for building the space elevator. I'm totally not going to do that because it costs 4,000 a week to run. This, however, people near and far come to enjoy the wonderful music played and songs sung at the Opera House. Requirement for building the space elevator. We're going to be going for the Opera House. The Opera House shall, of course, be built up here in Gentry Terraces because our nobility require their operas. And as much noise pollution as this will make, we'll build a separate little area for it. Possibly branching off here, maybe? I'm not sure. No, I think we'll have it branching off up here. And it'll be its own little place. Yes, I like this idea. Let's get that built. We should be able to have this as a single road just coming straight out there. There we go. It's going to be an opera house on the mountain. Ah, how beautiful. Here we go. Slope too steep. What? Poppycock. Oh, you scallywags, you. Well, that is most distressing. Let's see if I can draw this road out a little bit longer, and then it'll work. I'm not sure, though. Can we get this to work? Yes! Haha! Just a little bit of perseverance. There we go. It's dug into the landscape a little bit, but, you know, that's fine. Right, we want to draw some roads around this, I feel. I feel it is absolutely necessary. And they should be one-way roads. There we go. And we'll dig this road back. There we are. The beautiful music can just waft down from the mountain, serenade all the people in Gentry Terraces. The riffraff over yonder, the less than fortunate, basically the commoners. I was trying to be polite, but the peasants, the serfs, whose job it is to toil all day in the sun so that the nobility does not need to, would probably not appreciate this opera house anyway. So it's just as well it is built far, far away from them. Let's get some water over there. We probably also need some power. It's already connected. That's fine then. That is wonderful. But on the topic of power, ye gads, we are starting to go down in power. I'm starting to think it's time. I'm starting to think it's time for a dam. But a dam will take time to kick in. So, first, we're going to build one of these out there. Let's get this named. Thankfully, they don't care that they're basically propped up in sludge. This shall be the McAllen turbine. Named for X.M. Allen X. There we go, McAllen turbine. And the Opera House shall be named the Ixus. Named for Ixus07. The Ixus Singery, where beautiful singing shall occur. Now, I think it's time. We're going to expand out in this direction. It's going to cost us 9 grand, but that's fine. There's a little bit of oil resource here, actually. Now that's interesting. We now own a fairly square area of the map. And we are about to build an enormous dam. A part of me is worried. A part of me thinks this is the most awesome idea I've ever had. Thankfully for us, the part of me that thinks this is an awesome idea is by far the larger part. Now, just in case this ruins the train, I'm not going to build the dam down here. As amusing as that would be. No. We are going to have the dam. Okay, slope too steep? What do you mean slope too steep? It's a dam. There we go. That no? Okay, fair enough. Maybe. Perhaps. It's maxing out power. It doesn't get better than that, apparently. Let's see what we could get over there. 128 megawatts. Down here. Crazy watts. But it's going to cost 172,000 to do it. Egad. Now we're going to need to build it up a little bit. Just so that we've got a means for our vehicles to get from one end to the other. There, I think. Oh my lord. That was an awful lot of power that just got... sorry, money that just got spent. But it's going to take a fair old while for this to power up. Because it's got to gather the water on one side first before it can start actually generating the power for us. But we'll lay the lines all the way down. There we go. And should we ever build out this way, we can build a road across it, which is quite neat and useful. But there we are. Now, water is dynamic in this game. I may have already mentioned it, but as you can see, oh wow, the flow of water here is incredibly powerful. Oh wow. That is filling up stupid fast, even at max speed. I'm surprised by that. And we've actually stopped this whole... Oh dear. I feel a bit bad. We've literally just cut off all the water. This... Not exactly what I intended to do. I was expecting it to be a little less aggressive, but okay. No, that's fine. I'm sure nature will recover. How's that going to affect the ocean? Is it going to flood back? Because, you know, it should. Yes, it is. It's flooding back. It's okay. And it looks like it's actually starting to produce a little bit now. Is this working? Not operating. Okay. I think it's got to fully charge up first. How's it affecting the water levels back here? They've all risen a little bit, but it's not dangerously risen. Okay. There we go. Water's starting to flow backwards. Okay, things are restoring a little bit. I think we should be okay once that kicks in. How long it's going to take to kick in, I don't know. But when it does, we're going to have more power than we know what to do with. And we can actually start taking down some of these power wind turbines. Simply because we won't need them anymore. Right. The strong in the arm waist lifters. I'm afraid your time has come. Let's just double check. Yes, we are still happily making use of our incinerators. Goodbye, strong in the arm waistlifters. You served us well. Your contribution to Anoon shall forever be remembered. Have you kicked in yet? There we go. It's starting to equalize a little bit more now. Nope, still not producing. It's costing me a crazy amount of money, and it's not doing anything at all yet. Takes a long time, though, for it to kick in. But when it does, power woes will be gone. Now, the only thing I can think might also be required is to actually hook it up to the road, but I don't think you need to. Fairly certain that once you've got it, it's good to go. We'll have to see. But that looks to be about all we can do for this episode. We've added a fair bit more to the Rick Eaglebrick Heights district. We've added a little bit of... Oh, you're more than welcome, Ashley Evans. We've added a few places where our population can shop over here and in the Rick Eaglebrick Heights area. We've added some recreation, and of course, we've added a beautiful opera house. Visitors last week, 58. Tourists last week, 27. Let's just check on our tourists coming in at the moment. A reasonable amount are being delivered to our city via our trains and then our buses later on. 908 citizens are using the buses at the moment. 510 are using the metro. 22 are using the train. Things are going relatively well, all things considered. Our agricultural area is suffering enormously, though. Really, that part isn't happy. We may have to look into that. But what we can do now is we can upgrade that a little bit. And I'm thinking we're going to start emptying the field imp spawning mound. Soon, we're not going to have any of those left. We'll just be running off our incinerators only. That will be nice. That will be very nice at that point. Not that we really need them for power. There we go. Power is kicking in. Oh, fantastic. Look at that power going up. We are starting to flood the landscape a little bit. But it's not flooding in the direction that I'm worried about, so that's okay. Oh, wait. No. I thought maybe we were creating a new river. That would have been a bit of a problem. But no, we're okay. Okay, well, we have managed to make ourselves a dam that is now powering our city pretty much by itself. We're using 213 megawatts. We're producing 1,600 plus. I feel that in the next episode we're going to be dropping the budget significantly for our power production. But that is it for this one. I do hope you've enjoyed and will be joining us in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.